everybody. I welcome Michal here, and I want to welcome all our followers as well. And I'm very happy to say hello to you all today on behalf of EverTrader. And today I'm interviewing Michal. He's our successful trader. And I'll have all sorts of questions for him that I believe will in turn help other traders who are listening to us. And why am I going to have these questions? One of the reasons is that you've successfully passed that EverTrader evaluation, and you've even already received payouts from us. So of course, if you allow me, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of EverTrader, Michael, because it's a beautiful job. We're going to talk about the numbers in a moment as well, and I think you all the viewers have a lot to look forward to, so definitely stay with us because I think Michal has a lot to pass on to you. And I'm going to postpone revealing you the numbers a little bit. I'm going to ask Michael if he would be so kind as to tell us just very briefly what accounts you are currently trading on at EverTrader, if one or multiple, and what sizes.
So hello everybody. I currently have one account, a $50,000 account where I've already received 2 payouts, which have been around 15,000 Czech crowns, and then actually the second payment, which was something around 30,000. And I just managed to go through evaluation. Actually, I'm about to get paid on another account that's $100,000 in size. And there I actually closed positions on the 100,000 account, I think. I closed it. And now I'm currently waiting for a payout. So
actually, you did a beautiful job of answering my next question right away, which was how much you actually received in the payouts. I can just tell our followers and new traders here that you are our record holder who made over $5,500 in one day. And I think that is a truly incredible result. And I'm so glad that you're waiting for the next payout and that you're staying with us and expanding your base of EverTrader accounts. And I'm going to trust that it's going to continue to work for you, of course, but I have you here to help us out a little bit and to reveal those strategies that you have that have led you to this. And the result is really, for me, absolutely fabulous and great. And I'd be very interested to hear a lot about why you chose this EverTrader, why you started EverTrader in the first place, what led you to it.
So I came across it more or less by accident because I actually got an invitation in the email for some meeting like from Mr. Kovarik, and that's where I actually learned about how it all works. And it was interesting to me that actually one doesn't need to have any capital, just have to pay the entry fee, but it's like I take it as a small amount and he can actually suddenly have more capital. All you have to do is a little something and it's quite a lot of money afterwards. So you've got a great option here rather than like using your own capital. Most people like don't have that. So this is a good way to go.
I agree. I hear it quite often in conversations. For example, if you don't have the equity, this is a great way to go. If I want to work my way up somewhere, there's not as much risk and I can still make many times more than with my own money. Having other options, meaning all these types of accounts that you can choose. That's why I'm so glad you chose us. We have mentioned a little bit at the beginning that you're Michael. And I would like to ask you, if I may, for instance, if you could just briefly introduce yourself. Who is actually Michal, for example, outside of trading, or who are you in general, Michal?
So I work at a company where I'm a tester. We're focusing in electronics and stuff like that. I have a high school diploma, but I stumbled upon trading it pretty much by accident. It was about a year after I discovered cryptocurrencies, but I just kind of fell into it like this and bought something and other stuff. Later, I started trading cryptocurrencies and kind of actually started to learn what to do and stuff. So, and that's where I kind of stopped. I was more just watching it, maybe buying up some cryptocurrency and stuff like that. But I didn't have the capital for trading, so I didn't get into it because when you have little money and you want to make some money, you, of course, take more risks, and that usually doesn't pay off very often. So that's how more or less the way it went. And then I actually got this opportunity with you guys, and that was a bit of a jump from cryptocurrencies. Maybe even just Forex, it behaves differently and you have to get used to that. So I am still trying to get a little bit of a feel for it and learn. I'm still kind of searching for opportunities.
So you kind of started trading in 2017? And before that, you were trading something else?
Not before. I started in the year 2017. Like I've traded cryptocurrencies before, so kind of indirectly, but no stocks, indices, and stuff like that. But I've been trading like in the year 2018, 19. I've sort of tried it out more.
What were those beginnings like when you say that you tried the cryptocurrency first and that was the one you enjoyed the most? So what were your complete beginnings? How did it go? How did it look like? How did you do?
So it was kind of all over the place. One time it was successful. Of course, one time it wasn't. And overall, I just kind of stood still and didn't really progress anywhere. So I don't think it had much of a future then. That's why I didn't really start that year with you.
That means it's been kind of experimental period, as one could say.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you made a mistake, sometimes you did not. It was like there wasn't a system, if I understand correctly, that maybe it was more random than.
Yeah.
I'd still be interested to know what maybe was the biggest mistakes you've made in trading, what mistakes you've maybe worked out now. Obviously, we know that you're successful, but maybe those early days, what were the biggest mistakes? What would you say maybe you would avoid now that you have more experience?
For sure, impatience. And maybe another would be not having a discipline. Actually, in case of entries, for example, I was maybe entering too much. I had some plan, let's say, and maybe I got in early without thinking. And it went exactly as I calculated before. Maybe I tightened the stop loss more when I got in earlier. And that's why it actually kicked me out of the trade. And then that direction went exactly where it was supposed to go. So definitely this kind of mistakes. Other times, for example, I did deals that I jumped into and totally without a plan. I still do similar stuff now and then, even now, but I try to somehow, like I know I have it now, but I will try to somehow in future work on it and eventually to refrain from just randomly entering without a plan.
I'd say you're doing pretty well based on those payouts.
So far, yeah.
Anyway, don't tell yourself that yet. Based on what I have heard, it seems that you are aware of what went wrong and what was not the right approach. This is a common issue among traders, where impatience and psychological factors can lead to problems, even with a well thought out plan. And the worst thing is, if I don't even have a plan at all, you are going to screw up. And at that moment, thanks to the fact that you were such a player and not really a strategist, thinking you were going to disrupt it and win it all, that basically most commonly just ends up badly. So I can see that you learned by making mistakes, as they say. And obviously, on the other hand, we can give tips here on what not to do and what to avoid, which is what it taught you. And I'm wondering, have you ever gone through some kind of trading course or something where you've been mentored, or have you really learned completely by yourself, that you don't have any courses studied prior to your trading journey?
I don't have any course, more like a YouTube videos. So I watched those people who have been trading for a while and tried to learn something from them.
So explicitly, you would pay for like a course to learn how to trade? Not that. That means you're actually learning by doing, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, there are courses, but they're the ones you find on YouTube from, say, different mentors. Are you inspired mainly in the Czech Republic or maybe abroad for that matter?
Just occasionally. Sometimes abroad, but that's really rare.
So then I'll get some tips from you. I'd be interested in that. And I would love to ask you, before you bought the EverTrader Evaluation, did you trade on your account? Have you ever tried it before, like explicitly maybe with a smaller capital, but on your own with a real account?
Yeah, I did.
And how did that work out, since I asked? Sure, you want to be more specific, or do you want to leave it here?
Probably I'd leave it like this. I don't know what to say. Like
Yeah.
It was going well and then it wasn't. And then I end up where I started, and then I ended up giving up on it for the exact reason that it went nowhere.
And that the risk was too much? How much a
didn't
person
work.
with even less capital can realistically earn? Bouncing off of that beginning where we talked about it, do you have any strategy right now?
I'm trying to use some tools. I don't know, maybe your site. Then Elliott wave theory, I try to apply or help myself a little bit. Then, of course, Fibonacci levels. And then the price action. That's it. I think I use those for mostly like the S&P or gold. It depends then on the situation. Then some channels and different patterns.
So what trades are you mainly focusing on? I mean, how long are you holding trades on average? Just what you enjoy most?
So are you asking me if I focus mainly on intraday trading?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I like more shorter term trades of an hour to a day or two at the most. I don't
That's
usually
exactly
hold
what
it
I
for
was
longer than
asking, but
that.
those aren't like second long scalps.
No, it's not. I probably wouldn't have the nerves for that.
I get it, neither do I. So how did you manage to successfully pass the evaluation? What was the journey like? We talked a little bit. I saw the history. So how did you choose to do it in the EverTrader journey? You started to thrive here. What did you have to do that?
So first of all, I guess it definitely a good situation on the chart and the direction of the price did fit the plan. That helped a lot, but I had to have a plan. And more or less everything worked out. Plus, I actually got from you the $100,000 account. I actually bought it on sale where there is an unlimited number of days, and actually the minimum number of days normally is limited to 5, but it have it set only for 1 day. And actually in 3 days, I did the first phase, second phase, and on the 4th day, I guess, I was actually a couple of hours from closing the final trade, and I have already been cashing out.
That's every trader's dream, I think. Just go through evaluation in 3 days and boom, by the 5th day, you're getting your payout sent. Obviously, man, as it was even said, it really was an evolution that was going on. I mean, it was the very first account you had bought and first payout $5,500.
I had $50,000 account before that where I have actually already got 2 payouts in a row right now. The money came in, so
let me ask you, the strategy was about the same the entire run. And now at this point where you've had those payouts, is the strategy staying the same or are you changing it somehow? If it stays the same, that is definitely important information for me. And tell me again, what markets are you focusing on the most, for example?
yeah, most on the S&P 500 at the moment, and occasionally some Forex, so USD or USD Japanese, depending on the current state of things, and actually gold and silver, but I'm trying to kind of stay away from that. I usually don't do well on silver and gold, so it's more just like the S&P and occasionally some Forex. Exceptionally, I'll maybe trade gold, but right now, with the situation with the war, everything is kind of erratic all the time, so I try to avoid it.
I understand. I'd rather get away from the risk. So you're not exactly going to go out on a limb and trying it at the moment. You're already going according to the plan and strategy,
Exactly.
as you've
Yeah,
said before.
chuckle.
That's kind of my life strategy too, overall, not just in trading. So if I ask you, based on the fact that you have a good plan, have been trading a strategy, do you use our app and our trading journal? Does that help you overall in the work?
Yeah, especially like it's great in tons of things. I'm checking the daily limits there, for example, which is great. I know exactly how much and how much more I can afford because sometimes I have stop losses on the edge. So at least I know how much I can afford. And otherwise, for the overview, the chart there is totally cool. I like that.
So do you keep a trading journal in any way? Because I know, for example, that our development department created it very well thought out. We have things that you can't find anywhere else, where, for example, you can compare just the actual trades, the successes, and draw some conclusions from that. So do you keep a record of that in any way, perhaps?
Not yet, but I'd like to start. I would like to start with it. So if I'm like losing on a trade, I can write down some kind of a note about it, you know, yeah, that I made a bad decision, or that I had the stop loss too wide for no reason, or even though it may have already broken some rule I had in the plan, that if it fell below a certain threshold where I should have closed it. And that's what I want to start with in future, but I haven't started yet. I'm putting it off a little bit.
As long as it's going well, there's not much to change. I always say if it's working, why change it? There's not even time for it because you're trading, right? But often, for example, when I talk to really successful traders, I hear that a trading journal is very helpful and that it can help with any particular strategy at any particular moment where you just stopped thinking and went out on a limb. So then maybe it can help. I know from experience that traders just praise it a lot, but I'm glad that you're at least interested in it and that you can find something there that can help you as well. And I would certainly like to know, besides the financial gain, what did you actually gain from participating in the EverTrader program? What did it mean to you?
It's a huge opportunity for sure. Love it, especially because I enjoy trading that much. So it was a way to get better at it when I couldn't afford it. So it's kind of good, a good like chance, a chance like to try again, somehow like move on and start earning. It would be great to maintain it long term.
Well, that's on you, isn't it? I think you're able to sustain it. You're doing great so far, and I hope that our collaboration continues. So I hope that the next time we meet, you'll be reporting more of your weekly successful records and that you will remain with us at EverTrader. And while listening to you like this, do you have any message for new traders who might be deciding whether or not to go for it? And if they should decide to go for it, then I mean, you said you've been listening to a lot of speakers. You've learned from them. You've been learning everything prior and received similar messages from mentors, I suppose. So if you have a message like that, what would it be?
If I learned something from them, it would be to try to understand how to actually track the charts. And then I would definitely encourage beginners not to give up, to keep trying, hold on to discipline and have patience. Very important, probably, some kind of education to expand that subconscious and knowledge through learning new things, trying out some different strategies, let's say, and just pick the ones that work. And then maybe it would be great to read a book about trading and psychology. And last but not least, you guys should watch the hour graph, just check it out because it's very important.
Yes.
You will see how the market actually behaves, how the forexes actually go against each other. So that is that definitely, and don't give up. Go for it.
That's, I think, is a very nice wish for those, or even kind of a motto, I would almost say, for beginning traders. And thank you very much for that advice. However, I can't help but ask if you would recommend EverTrader to your friends and if you would recommend it to other traders around the world. I understand from what you said that you would, but this question is up to you if that is indeed the case.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to everyone. The main advantage is that one gets access to more capital than normally you wouldn't get. Or let's say you would be able to put aside, and it's great. So I recommend it to everybody.
We're very happy. As you mentioned, it is important to be mindful of the psychological aspect, not just the emotional one. We are pleased with the outcome. Regular involvement over time has led me to share this sentiment. I highly recommend it. The discussions often revolve around risk, equity, and opportunities, but caution is advised. As you mentioned, it is important to be mindful of the psychological aspect, not just the emotional one. That's where the program helps overall the most, as it sets boundaries for what can and cannot be done. This helps novice traders navigate more easily and stay on track. So I'm really glad we could interview you because I think you're quite an inspiring person. And when we talked at the beginning, I asked you if you've ever had a setback, if you've ever had a failure. I don't want to say that I liked it, but of course we just agreed that it's very important to go for it. And if I just want to prove something to myself, if I analyze and go for it, it's possible, and you proved it with those results. So if someone has only ever lost one account and it didn't result in the loss of their home or assets, then it may be worth considering this strategy. However, it is important to exercise caution. It seems that this is what we were discussing earlier, and perhaps this is why you are currently doing well. I believe that your discipline will continue to serve you well. I can see that they are currently managing those risks, which is different from what you initially told me. Your language suggests that you are making progress towards this goal. I can see that they are currently managing those risks, which is different from what you initially told me. I hope that the next time we speak, you will be closer to the imaginary line where you can start trading for a living. It seems that you wouldn't mind doing pro trading for a living, as it is a hobby you enjoy and find interesting. So I believe that our collaboration will be long lasting and that today was not the last time I'll talk to you.
I don't think it was.
I am pleased to hear about your approach. On behalf of EverTrader, thank you for the interview. I wish you success in your future trades, good planning, discipline, calm emotions, and many successful payouts.
Great. Thank you very much.
Have a great day and farewell, Michal. Goodbye.